My name is Brooke Bloom, and I'm playing W for Wendy. Just kidding, I don't, woman or Wendy.
He said it wasn't woman, it was just W.
It's just W.
We talked about this, yeah. And I'm Ryan King, and I play M.
For Michael. Just kidding.
It's not Michael. It's kind of, you're trying to make these decisions in a world that makes it very difficult to like live a meaningful life. Like they talk about like the recycling, they talk about this.
Also,
and it's like this
we have to make decisions about these things now, where I think at one, like, we have to make decisions about having babies, or we have to make decisions about staying with this person. There's so many options available to us on how to live a life, where at a certain point your choices were much more narrow. They're out of necessity. You coupled up with the same person, you stayed with that same person, you didn't choose whether you had children or not, you had children, and I think it's kind of daunting for this generation to have to make choices about these things. I always feel like if a stork just gave me a baby, I would do a good job with it, but God forbid I have to make a choice to have. Yeah, I don't know how I can.
Yeah, I had like, I always go back to the first time I read it. I had a really strong, I couldn't really explain it, emotional response to it, that I was kind of like at the end of it just like, oh, I think I even kind of went overboard and ended up emailing Aaron just about the script. Like I hadn't had a reading experience like that for a while. I feel like I get into this habit of just reading stuff and like, oh, this is what I'm going in for. And this was the first play for a while that I actually was like, oh, I need to be in this. It was almost like impossible to kind of give the same performance every night. Like things are going so fast that if you kind of like miss a moment or something different happens, it just completely...
It's like you just jump into it and you're like, okay, I don't know what's gonna happen, but...
Which was a kind of great, in a weird way, vulnerable place to be as a performer. Like you really felt like you were kind of walking a thin line in front of these people.
It's kind of scary.
In a good way though, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Called lungs, I believe, because it happens in one breath, as does a human life.
That's the end of the interview. That's amazing.
Thanks.
That's gonna be the end of the thing.
It's part and parcel of a larger thing, which is a relationship between two people, and
Kind of the choices you make in a relationship.
yeah, and a life, and the choices you make and where you end up, and the dynamics between the two people and how they shift and how they change, and yeah. I mean, I suppose there's a slight emphasis on
it kind of starts.
And also, it's not just having a baby is difficult in this world, but also being in a relationship is difficult in this world. So I don't know. I think that has
absolutely
more to do with